this thing?
Yeah.
We're a little
Let's
behind.
Podcast. Two guys talking without wearing pants. Pantless. Podcast. You can take our ideas.
Welcome back to the Pantless Podcast. Here's your host, Austin and Travis. Take it away, guys. What's going on? We are finally doing
Hey,
this.
we did it. For real. This
We're a little
is
behind.
we're not live.
Holiday weekend.
So if you're watching or listening to us, you're definitely not doing it live. I mean, you're alive.
Next week, around 9 o'clock on Friday, catch us on Twitch at The Pantless Gaming. I think that's what we're called. You'll find us if you type that in.
Sounds right.
One word. You can catch us live every week. That
Sometimes.
should be the only way you find. Now, if everything goes according to plan, that's the only way that you can catch the whole podcast in video form. Now, the last 2 weeks have had a lot going on, and I've just dumped the whole thing on YouTube without any edits. Normally, we've just been doing the movie reviews. Got anything?
I don't think so. If anybody is not subscribed to us or follows us on Rumble,
You can go to Rumble.
make that happen, because we have to have at least 5 to live stream.
Yeah, on Rumble, yeah.
And we'll run Twitch and Rumble at the same time if we can get enough people following us on Rumble. So think about that. Think about that, if you will. Travis, do you have anything? Do you have any recommendations?
What do you know new?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Do.
You gotta help me remember that. What do you know new?
What do you know new?
Yeah.
So great. I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me.
Okay.
Audiobook.
Audio.
Well, that's not new to me. I've been doing audiobooks for a while. Or a book series that my brother told me about that I burned through the first book in like a week in Audible. It's called The Dresden Files.
The Dresden Files?
Dresden Files.
Okay. What is that?
The first book's called Stormfront. There's probably about 20 books in the series. It follows a guy by the name of Harry Dresden. He's a wizard in modern day Chicago.
Okay.
I think it's late 90s, early 2000s. That's modern day. It doesn't actually say what year. He does at one time mention the 20th century. He drives an old 60s Beetle. But they have cell phones, but he doesn't use them. He's the only practicing wizard in the United States.
Okay.
It reads like a 50s detective novel.
Okay.
Imagine Dick Tracy, but he can do magic. Like a 40s, 50s. He's like a private investigator. He also works for the cops. Magic disrupts technology. So when he's just talking on a landline phone, sometimes it'll cut out and disconnect him. He can't use elevators. He drives a 60s VW Bug because it has no electronics in it for him to fry.
All right.
He doesn't have any he uses candles in his apartment. He uses a revolver because it doesn't have any modern mechanical stuff for it to foul up when he uses it.
Interesting.
It was really good. It's what I would call a first person novel, where it's all from his perspective. The main character is narrating the story.
Yeah, I like those.
I'm usually not a fan of those.
Oh, really? I do. I like them.
It has to be a really good book. It really has to pull me in. If it's like a slow start or just kind of doesn't hook me early, I can't read those. But the Dresden Files, they're all on Audible. I know the wife looked it up on Thrift Books and found a graphic novel series, but it's not available on there. I don't know where you'd find those. Sounds like they're out of print. I don't know when these were wrote. I want to say that
You would think they would be on Amazon or something, right?
I haven't. Like I said, I get them all on Audible, so I don't read actual book. So, 'cause I'm lame.
Yeah.
So
So the Dresden Files, that's like a series.
that's the name of the series.
There was looks like a TV show released in 2007 that flopped.
That's about
That
right.
was the Dresden Files. And you can get books 1 through 17 for $173. And they'll get shipped to you in 5 days.
Okay, so Stormfront came out in 2000. So, Stormfront's the first book. Yeah, he wears a duster everywhere he goes.
Interesting.
It's like Battlegrounds, maybe the last one. Just came out in 20. He just wrote that one in 2020.
Yeah, Battlegrounds is the last one. Book 17 of 17.
There's all when I saw on Audible, there's some 0.5 books, like little novellas
Interesting.
that show up on the Audibles.
Okay. Well, there you go. So yeah, you can find them. They exist. You can find them in paperback for like $8, $10.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. There you go.
You get
That's
it
what
on-
do you know new.
You can get it on the Kindle store, ebook for $2.99.
Oh, cool.
I
don't really have I don't have a tablet anymore to read those things. My books are pretty much OG.
You can actually get the Kindle app on a cell phone. It's a little bit smaller, but I've read a couple books off of a cell phone through the Kindle app.
That's tough. If I'm on my phone, I'm
You're not
listening
wrong.
to the book. I'm just listening to it. It
Yep.
is really tough to read on that tiny screen, an entire book.
But if you like crime novel, like detective novels, and you like magic, you'll like this one. Like I said, think like we just did Dick Tracy a couple weeks ago. Think Dick Tracy, but using magic. You're a wizard, Harry. So,
Yeah.
do you have
All right.
any breaking news? Let's just get through this because I want to go to bed.
Yeah, only kind of sad. Tammy Slayton, the one of the sisters from Thousand Pound Sisters. Her husband Caleb passed away.
No?
It's kind of sad, but
Yeah, that is.
that is the breaking news. Yeah. So moving on from that downer, went from an upper to a downer. We're going into
Retro movie review.
I was hoping that's what
You had that queued up. I wasn't going to do that. I was going a totally different direction, but I guess we can do that.
What were you wanting to do?
I had nothing. I
Oh.
was blanking. You've seen my face today. It's brain fog.
I was hoping that's what you were going for, because, I'm just gonna.
Just hit the button. Let's do this.
The
We watched a
Monuments
movie.
Men.
The Monuments Men.
What did you think of this movie?
This was I liked it. It was kind of slower paced,
It was.
but it was a good flick. It was a good flick, and it kind of kept in line with how usually our movies tie into the previous movie in some way, and yeah, it really had me. I left it like I was actually at a theater. I walked away from my TV, thinking about those questions of, is art worth sacrificing your life?
It's kind of a
It's a, I mean, it was very interesting. I was thinking about that. Like, there's a statue now that wouldn't have existed had these, some people died to make sure the statue
well,
was still here.
the one guy that died trying to save the
The Madonna.
yeah, he like he finally redeemed himself. He finally found his honor.
Right.
Because he like, to say he died well kind of situation, like that life, is it still worth the life? Probably. That was a hard sell because they got the statue and that's the
Right.
last thing they found.
Yeah. So his sacrifice really didn't affect the outcome of the statue.
I will tell you, the rough one was the Frenchman with Goodman's character.
Yeah.
Like that whole sequence of scenes where they're sitting in the back of that truck. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Him sitting in that truck just holding his friend.
Yeah.
When the soldiers find him, and you're like, dang, that's real right there. Like,
Yeah.
this movie just got sad.
Yeah. Yeah, and those kind of things happen. Just like the those two guys when they walked into the forest, and there's that German soldier like that was all alone, and they couldn't speak the same language,
but they found a common language.
Yes, cigarette.
I just think that soldier just realized these guys aren't here to kill me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why kill them? I will die myself.
Yep.
We're just gonna part. If they let me leave, I'm gonna leave, and we're not gonna kill anybody. Those two cracked me up the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like, that was the comic relief of the movie. Because at the beginning of the movie, them two hated each other, and somehow, fate be as it is, you're paired up. You're teammates this movie.
Yep.
And then when the children in that house. Cracked me up.
The Hail Hitler children. Yeah.
It's like, oh, got him.
Yeah. That would be something. The movies where there's just the obvious language barrier, like how awkward would it be for that guy's wife who doesn't know any English just to be sitting there like, what are they talking about right now? What's going to happen? She's just having to sit there while her husband speaks a different language to these other guys speaking a different language.
Part of me wants to believe that she knew English.
Oh yeah,
she knew more. They didn't. At no point did they give any inclination that she did, but it's hard to believe that she didn't know any. Because you did recognize who he was, right?
I don't know.
I think his name was Stahl. Still, he was the one that was shooting at the girl.
Okay, yeah,
that was him.
Yeah, I thought you meant like from a different movie.
No, from
that was the doctor from the beginning that had the librarian, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where she spit in his cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was him. So all those paintings were ones that he took off with in that train. I liked the movie. I feel like this movie was you have World War II movies, and then this one kind of runs parallel to them.
Yeah,
it's like almost a retelling of World War II from a different angle. Like, what can we do to save art? Because every time they're like, hey, we got this directive. You guys are to not destroy art, and the in charge people will be like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
Denied. I don't care who it comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were all good guys. I really liked Matt Damon's character,
Mm-hmm.
how, he remained honest and true to his family, like even through temptations in another country. And
Me and the wife actually talked about that. It's like it's good to finally see a character written in a story that has good morals. Because
yeah,
there for a minute you're like, don't disappoint me.
yeah,
Like I'm about to get disappointed in this character, and then he does the right thing, and you're like,
yeah, yeah. It was refreshing. It really was.
yeah.
I liked it.
His character was hilarious too because he kept trying to speak French to all the like English,
Yeah,
English, bro. Listen,
yeah,
your French is bad. You can even tell. Like, what's great is I don't really know. I don't know French, but you could hear him like he acted that very well, or they literally taught him no French and told him to speak in French for the movie, so his actual French was bad.
yeah. It was funny. Did you read like
The
the
word,
subtitles?
oh
What
yeah,
he was actually saying, like it was just totally botched, where you could tell like you could understand what somebody who doesn't know how to speak the language is probably trying to
yep.
say. But you're like, it's so
The
bad.
words aren't in the right order, and
Yeah.
he's saying the wrong word. You're like, wait, did he just? What's he talking about? This conversation makes no sense.
Yep.
So, all right, let's get into Metacritic.
All
Let's
right,
hop
let's
into
do it.
this. So,
Okay.
43 critics out of 100.
Okay. Well, see, my first thought would be that this would be a movie that critics would like, but you told me that it kind of flopped. So, like, I'm just going to go with what I would think. I think the critics would give this a 74.
You're a bit off because they really didn't like this one. 52.
Yeah, that's
And I
wild.
honestly, as much as I love this movie, I just think this is just one that that a lot of people don't like because it's slow and there's really not much action. There's a lot of comedy, but it's also a sad movie. So, 244 users out of 10.
So I actually think the users who watched this would probably be into it. I'm gonna go a 6.8.
You were closer on this one. 5.4.
Oh, still not great.
Yeah, they. I just think there's a lot of people who are like, ooh, World War II movie, and then they see the lineup and they're like, oh, this is gonna be hilarious. This is gonna be a comedy, a straight comedy, and then it's really not. It's got
Right.
funny. Like, how can you put these actors in a movie and not be funny? John Goodman's face when he found out that they were live rounds over the top of his head.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I didn't actually realize I didn't get to really watch the credits too much. George Clooney directed this.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, interesting.
it's got way too many genres: action, adventure, biography, drama, history, thriller, comedy, war. So we had for the critics we had 15 positive, 27 mixed, 1 negative. So just a lot right in the middle that just couldn't decide. Users had 87 positive, 107 mixed, 50 negative. But similar
Okay.
split.
Yeah.
Just a ton of mixed. The Observer gave it an 88. This is their story. It is true. It is history. As a film, it is riveting, suspenseful, harrowing, and exciting. And somehow, it also managed to be something rare among war pictures, a big scale entertainment. That's the highest review of an 88.
Wow.
Let's come down here and see if we can get our redemption of. See if we can find your chronicle here.
No.
There we are. The Austin Chronicle, after years of not finding them. Gave it a 50.
Okay.
Ultimately, however, this film is a collection of vagonettes in search of a narrative center. Although it is enjoyable, the film never coheres into a whole. Instead, it resembles a pile of ill-fitting jigsaw puzzle pieces rather than a fully formed picture.
Okay. I can see that. Because yeah, I was often wondering like how far away are they from each other? I
Obviously
know that
not
they
far.
mentioned they split up, but I just don't know enough about the geography of the area, like France, Germany, where those towns are in relation to each other, and
They seem to get together awfully quick.
yeah.
Like both.
But that's in movie time. You know, did it take them weeks to get together?
Yeah.
Days? We don't
But
know.
I, I will tell you, I don't have a massive knowledge on when things happened during World War II, from like beginning of the war to end of the war. But it seems like the war was like just starting, and then they progressed through the entire war to the end of it,
Right?
or they were there like halfway through. Just what the war lasted a couple years, a year. I don't remember. I don't know.
It.
Let us
Yeah.
know. I don't remember.
I mean, we jumped in late. We weren't in the war initially, but then when we did get in the war, it was less than 3 years, I think. I want to say we got in like 41 and it was over by 44 or something like that. I don't know. You know, that was a long time ago, 80 years ago.
So Variety gave it a 30. This is the worst review. Clooney has
Okay.
transformed a fascinating true life tale into an exceedingly dull and dreary caper pick art
Yeah.
application seminar, a museum piece movie about museum people.
Okay. Is even a piece about museum people.
So Dissolve, never heard of them, gave it a 40 and said, while the film is often playful, it never attempts to be particularly funny, perhaps out of a fear that too much levity in a World War II themed movie would be in poor taste. Instead, it loads on a great quantities of tacky, crowd pleasing moments and cliches.
Yeah.
I,
I don't know.
I'm weird, and I like movies like this. Like this isn't typical. I feel like this could have been a typical Clooney, like old man Clooney movie, like Men Who Stare at Goats, you know,
Right.
something just goofy. And I feel like they wanted it to be goofy at times, but then like it kind of trended that way. Then they toned it down. Oh, it's a serious war movie, but we have funny actors. Let's make it a little bit. But nope, let's. I don't know. I love this movie, so I'm not gonna let people tear me down on it. All right, Common Sense Media. I don't know who this is. Have we had this Johan Roblindo? Roblindo?
I don't think so.
Am I? I don't know if I'm pronouncing this middle. Johanna.
JH.
Would that be
I
a
don't know.
Joe?
Jonah?
Joe?
Jonah?
Would that make
I
a
don't know.
J sound?
Yeah, I
Jonah?
don't know.
I don't think it makes a hard J sound. But they got just an initial at the beginning. So, don't know. Uh, they have 15 plus 2 stars. That might be one of the lowest star rating I've seen.
Yeah, that's
Fact-based adventure with a few bloody battle scenes. That's parents say 13 plus. Um, what's a kids say? Kids say, oh, parents say 4-star. Kids say 3-star. So the
Yeah,
parents liked it.
I could see kids struggling with this one.
Yeah.
It would be tough.
Positive messages.
Um, uh, man, 4.
There's some. 3.
Some okay, 3.
3.
Okay.
Is a painting or statue worth a human life? Question mark. Stokes and his men set off on an important mission to find and protect artifacts that define Western culture. Items that would be a terrible blow to humanity if they were lost or destroyed during war. And some circumstances forced them to address this thorny question.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think
Yeah.
it's a question that really doesn't have a definitive answer.
Yeah. I don't think it's up to the individual. Yeah.
Positive role models.
Um, I don't. There were several, and I don't know that they're really. I could give this one. I could give this one a 5.
I would give this one a pretty high score because I feel like there's some characters that really could be, you know,
Yeah. I mean, we saw people redeem themselves. We already talked about Damon's character.
yeah,
All of these guys volunteered, really put their lives
they
on the line
were well
for
above the
art.
age.
Yeah.
Well, because they all had to go
Uh,
through basic to get
yeah.
over
We
there.
we saw guys that hated each other, grow to like each other.
Best
Um,
friends, lifelong friends at that
so
point.
yeah, it was
Uh,
it should be high.
3.
Wow.
Yeah,
Disagree.
yeah, 100%. Stokes and the rest of the Monument's men enter World War II, aligned not to kill or destroy, but to protect invaluable objects of art. It is a notable task made more difficult by the death and destruction that surrounded them. They didn't even talk about. What I was disappointed with was that one guy didn't get to shoot anybody.
Which one?
The one that was with Bill Murray, the short.
The private?
Yeah, because when they were in that room, he's like, I just want to shoot somebody. And Bill Murray's like, okay, private. And he's like, don't ever call me that again.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Violence and scariness.
There was quite a bit of violence. I would, but not so much for a World War II movie. Like,
It was toned.
I would probably give this one a 3,
And
comparing it to World War II movies.
they would agree with giving it a 3.
Okay.
Several scenes feature wartime violence, including explosions and gunfights. One scene takes place in a battlefield hospital filled with bloody and dying soldiers. A few characters are shot, sometimes at close range.
Okay.
Sex, romance, and nudity. Oh,
I don't, a 1 just because that girl was coming on to Matt Damon.
very little. 1. And exactly that. Very, very tame flirting between two people who are thrown together during wartime, though the man chooses to be faithful to his wife.
Yep.
So, a positive message.
Yeah. Language. Golly, I'm sure there was language in this movie, but I don't recall anything specifically.
I didn't remember anything, but
I mean, I would probably just say 1 because I don't remember, but I'm sure there is. But it wouldn't surprise me if they're like, "Oh no, this was terrible." And
they said 2.
okay,
Occasional swearing, including the S word, hell, J Christ, and G dang it.
okay,
I wonder if some of those were in the background.
maybe so.
Products and purchases.
Oh goodness, I don't recall any. I would say not present.
There wasn't any.
Okay.
Drinking, drugs, and smoking.
There was I would give it a 3. It wasn't anything outrageously excessive, but it was present throughout the movie.
They would agree with the 3.
Okay.
Said many people smoke cigarettes, which was typical at the time. Some scenes feature people drinking wine, champagne, cognac, and other beverages in social situations. Yeah, it was funny when the one general called it champagne. Like, oh, well, that's where that came from. This guy didn't like to rate anything higher than a 3.
Yeah.
Just in case you're keeping score.
He's
Consistent.
he or she. We don't know.
Oh,
I
my
could
bad.
could be
They,
a that name
this person.
sounds feminine. Could be a feminine man. I don't know.
Parents need to know that Monuments Men is a fact-based war drama that feels like a cross between Ocean's 11 and Saving Private Ryan, and features some of the same actors. Expect some wartime violence, including some close-range shootings, and scenes with bloody and injured soldiers. Characters smoke frequently and drink occasionally, and there are a few swear words sprinkled throughout the high-stakes action. Not I wouldn't. Okay.
They said high stakes action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just stay in the. They in their emails.
I think if this was on Netflix, one of the genres would be slow burn.
That is one, isn't it?
That's one on Netflix now. Like if a movie is like just kind of a, it's not like high speed action packed throughout the whole thing. They call it a slow burn. But interesting.
Party of 5 foodies, an adult, 10 plus 4-star.
Oh
Hidden
wow.
side of World War II. Plenty of war, but plenty of humanity and humor too. Good plot with well-known actors that reminds us of the value of culture and history, and the negative effects on society's root from a destructive war. After the movie, we talked about Gaza, Syria, this other place I can't pronounce, and how society feels with this coronavirus lockdown. The struggle for preservation is well laid out, despite plenty of cigarette smoking, plenty of deaths, only some blood is shown. There's some scenes with a good amount, and a minor romantic innuendo. Inappropriate for fifth graders, appropriate for fifth graders and above, to start drawing out the uplifting themes of honor, courage, and chivalry. That's the best review I've seen.
Yeah.
And that's a parent.
Yeah. Yeah. They should take Jonna's job.
Yeah.
No offense, J Dog, but your hesitancy to get like I can understand not giving it a 5. We've talked about that before. I mean, you could have the standard of I won't give anything a 5 unless it is 100% the max.
Like the best
so,
ever.
Yeah, so if you give something like a 4, give it a 4. Like, why were you so afraid to hit that button? You weren't want to slide that thing over one.
Yep.
Don't be scared.
Good movie. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Now, next week.
What are we doing next week? What are we doing next week?
Let me pull up the movie. Let me make sure I'm thinking.
What are you thinking?
Oh, I spelled it wrong.
We don't even know what you're thinking.
No. Oh, that's right. The wife suggested we watch. This is a movie from 2001. It's kind of a chick flick, but it's hilarious. I have seen it before. Called Josie and the Pussycats. You ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. I used to watch the cartoon. I don't know that I've ever seen the movie.
That's right. It was
an old cartoon from like the 60s and 70s.
Oh, it was an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had crossovers with Scooby-Doo.
Yes, they did.
But yeah, I don't think I've seen the movie.
Yes.
What's it on?
I have it on DVD. On nothing.
Okay. I'll find it.
I know you will. The
You
wife,
have a certain set of skills.
the wife wants me to watch this movie with her this week. I'm like, well, we can review it.
Yeah.
It's weird because she was trying to figure out who one of the characters was, who we were trying to figure out a couple of the actors in it, and there's like 3 actors that literally are not even credited to be in this movie, but they're clearly in this movie.
Okay. Like big names.
Seth Green,
Yeah.
and I don't remember who the other 2 were. Once you see him and the other 3 guys, you'll be like, oh, this is hilarious.
All right. Yeah. We'll do it. Josie and the Pussycat.
It's got a really, really good, like, actor you don't really see much of. Really, you remember Alan Cumming? He's been in some stuff. He's really good.
I'm a face person.
I think you'd recognize him. He's been in a lot of stuff. What was he in that we watched recently? Or is he in something?
Oh, I've seen this guy. He was in Spy Kids, right?
Yes, he was also Nightcrawler in X-Men 2.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I always forget he did that because he was so heavily. It took so much makeup. That's why Nightcrawler wasn't in X-Men 3.
Really?
Because
because of the makeup?
He refused to put on the makeup to play that character ever again. So they just decided just to write. They just like, okay, you want my favorite X-Men character of all time, and got left out of the 3rd movie because the actor refused to spend 4.5 hours in makeup just for one scene.
Yeah. Fair. That doesn't usually happen, but that's fair.
I think yeah. He's in a really good mini-series called Tin Man. It's a Wizard of Oz mini-series.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I've not heard of that.
My daughter watched it the other day. It's like a 4-part. I think it's in like 4 parts, 2 discs. He plays Scarecrow.
I could see that. I could see it being a Scarecrow.
Mm-hmm.
Fun.
I'm like, what have I watched recently that had him in it that you might have watched? And I realized, oh no, it was my kids watching something. So, all right, we're gonna watch Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, we're doing it.
So,
all right.
Let's get that down here.
You put it on the list so we can reference it.
I didn't put. I haven't updated that the sheet yet.
Oh snap!
It's on a different tab, and I didn't want to mess up my screens. I realized I use a different browser to do that. So I think we're gonna call it there.
Let's do it.
Let's get out of here and go to bed. Short
episode. Yeah. It's late.
You know what?
It's
folks late. Have a good night.
Bye.